You ever hear somebody say, men and women fall in love pretty much the same way? That's adorable. It's like thinking your new rescue puppy is going to be perfectly behaved on day one because you gave them a squeaky toy and some yummy kibble. Sweet, yeah, but not exactly how real life works. The truth is, men and women tend to fall in love very differently. Some dive in head first, like it's the last pool party of the season, while others are still circling the deep end, one toe in, deciding if this is really a good idea. And listen, the goal isn't to get everybody to fall the same way. That's never going to happen. We just want to understand each other's rhythm so we can figure out how to dance together without stepping on all the toes. So if that's at all interesting or intriguing, I hope you'll stick around because that's what's on the agenda. Men often fall really fast. Like, is it love or was that just a particularly good weekend fast? That rush of connection hits them and it feels real. And to be fair, in that moment, it is real. It's potential excitement, hope. But let's be honest, it's also sometimes a fantasy wearing cologne. Women, we take a little bit longer usually, not because we're playing games, but because we're thinking in layers. Is this somebody that I can trust? Do I feel emotionally safe? Is this a connection I can build on, or is it just charm and convenience? Now, that doesn't mean men are foolish or women are cold. It means we're operating on different internal clocks. And the win isn't getting someone to match your speed. It's about finding the shared pace after the spark. It's about honoring your process while still being open to theirs. Here's how it usually goes. Physical attraction hits him like a lightning bolt. He's all in. He's interested, available, and ready to start imagining holidays together by the third date. Meanwhile, she's assessing not just attraction, but character. How does he treat people? How does he handle stress? Or is he consistent? Does he show up when it's convenient or when he says he will? We both want connection, sure, but while he might be driven by how somebody makes him feel, she's typically paying attention to how somebody behaves. And it's not because she's just super picky, it's because she's learned. Attraction can start the fire, but character's what keeps it burning without burning the house down. That big, flashy feeling, love at first sight, oh, it's not fake, it's just not finished. Men often experience it stronger, sooner. They feel that immediate pull. And women usually want a little time to feel, to observe, and notice if the spark still matters once the everyday stuff shows up. Because the real test isn't whether you're breathless in the first 15 minutes. It's whether you still want to show up when nobody's trying to impress anybody anymore. Because love isn't proven in the moment. It's built in the follow-through. And when both people understand that, they can stop chasing magic and start building something that actually lasts. So when you walk into a coffee shop so often that they know your order, like Cheers? That's what subscribing to the channel is like. You're officially part of the crew. And if you become a channel member too, it's like you get the secret handshake as a bonus. You're instantly one of the cool kids. So before we get back to the episode, if you could just hit those buttons, I'll save you a seat and maybe even share my muffin. This is where things get a little tricky because men often communicate love through action, doing things, fixing problems, and being there. Women, we want to talk, to feel emotionally connected and understood. And when he's showing love by doing but not saying, she can feel a little disconnect. So here's the solution to this one. Stop thinking one style is better than the other. They're both very important. It's not an either-or situation. Emotional fluency means learning how to show up in a way that lands for the person you're with, not just the way that feels natural to you, but the way that actually builds connection. That's when things shift from confusion to closeness. Just a reminder, I'm not speaking about everybody. We're all unique and different, and I want to remind you that when I'm speaking in broad terms, this is just generalizations, and obviously there are as many different ways of falling in love as there are people. So let's keep that in mind, and especially in the comments. I'm always yelling at you. Don't make sweeping generalizations. And I just want to let you know that this is just for the sake of conversation. I don't believe that all men are one way or all women are the other. We've all got it. Emotional baggage. Some of it's vintage. Some of it's still duct taped together from the last breakup more recently. Some men often don't stop to unpack it. They want to move forward, keep going, act like it's not there. But just because you don't talk about something doesn't mean it's not leaking into the relationship. Women, on the other hand, can sometimes overanalyze their past, guard it so tightly that nobody new gets in. The sweet spot is honest acknowledgement without becoming a full-time baggage handler. You don't need to unpack everything on date one, for sure, but you do need to know what you're carrying and be able to name it when it matters. Because healing isn't about having no history. It's about having the courage to share it when the time is right. Definitely not on date one. This one's huge because when we talk about safety, we're not talking just about no harm. We're talking about being emotionally seen, respected, heard. Men often bring consistency, humor, and loyalty. But when women test for emotional depth, and let's be real, sometimes we do test. It's not sabotage, it's self-protection. We want to know, can you handle all of me? Not just the highlight reel, but this stuff. And guys, if you can just stay, even when it's a little messy, even when you don't know exactly what to say, that creates more intimacy than a dozen roses. If we can ask for what we need instead of assuming it's missing, we give our partners a chance to show up instead of shutting down. Communication doesn't have to be confrontation. It's collaboration. That's beautiful. Let's give biology a moment. Men are wired with more testosterone, which often drives faster decision-making in love. They feel it. They act. Women are running a more complicated hormonal cocktail. Our emotional rhythms change throughout the months. Might have heard about it. We're processing things on multiple levels. So yeah, it can look like we're overthinking, but really we're just tuned into the full picture. The trick isn't to sync up your feelings like clocks. It's knowing that your differences aren't dysfunction. They're normal. When couples can learn to honor that, his quick emotional leap and her deep emotional scan, then it stops being frustrating and it all becomes kind of useful. So here it is really, men and women fall in love very differently, but it's not a problem. The problem is pretending that we shouldn't if you're thinking that. So just know that you're not broken because you need time or because you feel it fast. You're human. And if you're dating later in life, that wisdom that you've earned, that clarity, that self-awareness that's your secret weapon, men are learning to open up in ways that they were never taught. And women are learning how to protect themselves without shutting down completely. We're all trying to find that space where connection feels honest, not performative. And if someone's words don't match their actions, believe the action. Every time. That's the real love language, trust me. So what do we do with all of this? We stop rushing to be the same, and we start learning how to meet each other where we are, if you like that phrase. If you're a woman, trust your instincts, not your fears. You're not asking too much, and you're just finally asking the right questions. And if you're a man, vulnerability is not weakness. It's a green light for intimacy. So lead with that, not just charm. Because love isn't about falling the same way. It's about landing well. Like 10. Honestly, landing together with your full self still intact. And I hope that for you. I also hope you found that interesting or helpful. If you did, you might want to check out this episode here. And hey, before you go, can you please, that's my mom right there, can you give her the thumbs up she's asking for? Just because she's the best mom I've ever had. And don't forget to subscribe before you go. I appreciate you stopping by, hanging out with me. And until next time, have a good one.